Hmm. What is up, my friends? Here we go. The first match of Daniele De Rossi as manager of AS Roma. His return, a player who's a captain, who's played over 600 matches for the Giallorossi, his boyhood club. He was picked from them while playing at Ostia. His father, another club legend. I feel cautiously optimistic about his tenure. We know that he's going to be playing, or he's going to be coaching rather, until June. That's guaranteed, or at least that's what the contract says. But will he be able to organize this side? Will he be able to get them going, put some wind back in their sails, get them motivated, get them aligned, and also raise spirits? I think that's a big part of it. I think that the one thing that this team needs right now is to feel unified. Whenever you have dark and difficult times, the most important thing is that the group stays together. Wayne Gerard, thanks for joining me. It's a nice Friday night. It's been snowing and pretty cold out by me. I wonder what it's like by you. Maybe you're in Buffalo where they're paying people to shovel out snow out of the stadium for 20 bucks an hour. I think it's worth a little bit more than 20 bucks an hour. But anyway, here we are, guys. Keep throwing those comments in. I see a few already. And the first thing I want to take a look at today is, let me pull this up, Shift 6. There we go. Okay, some stats. Statistically, Roma are unbeaten against Verona in like the past. I don't know. I'll find out the number for you here, but they basically never win in Rome. Reverse fixture though, Verona did get the best of Roma. That was a 2-1 win. And Gonje, who looks like he's about to be sold to Napoli, he was one of the scorers in that match. But Roma and Verona equal in their last 7 matches in Serie A, 3 wins each and 1 draw. So it's not as clear cut as we, as fans of La Lupa, would hope for. Roma, though, they've got a good record at home. In fact, since September, they are undefeated. So have not taken a loss at home since that time. But against Verona at home, unbeaten in their last 26. Last time, now I got that stat for you here. I could see it in the middle. January 28th, 1973. And only against Bari have Roma registered a longer ongoing run of consecutive matches without losing at home in Serie A. Looks like I'm getting a phone call. Hold on. Okay, I had to pause that real quick. Hopefully you can still hear me. I got to put my, what do you call it? My do not disturb on. There we go. Because I use my phone as a camera. Anyway, last couple here. Roma lost their last 2 matches. We know that match against Lazio was horrific. I think that's the one that made me realize Roma needed something new. Of course, that means a new manager. That whether it was tactical or it was motivational, I felt that there was a disconnection between the fans. I'm sorry, between the players and the manager. And then, of course, that match against Milan, the last one that Roma played, was discouraging. Did the team fight back? Were they having to cope with heavy injuries? Yeah, both those things are true. But so were Milan. And you know what? They showed a better attitude. They came out to the pitch. They wanted to win. Fifth one here. Verona have won 2 of their last 4 league matches, which is substantial because this is a team in 18th place. If we take a look at the standings here real quick, my friends, we have got all the way at the bottom. They're 18th place, 17 points only, Verona. And they beat Empoli, which was decisive, I think. I think that, honestly, I know it's a little too early to say heading into match round 21, but I think that one against Empoli was a big deal because I don't think that they're going to be able to get back on their feet. I do think you find Empoli in Serie B next season. Salernitana, though, I'm hoping they can pull it out, man. Udinese, I think, is a team who consistently is in the bottom 15 from 15 to 20th. I think they should get relegated. I don't think Frosinone is the type of team you want in Serie A. I don't think they're a good image for the league. They don't bring fans in. They don't build anything. They're never going to become anything more. Lecce, though, we can keep Lecce, right? But if it was up to me, it would be Empoli gone, Udinese, and Frosinone. Those 3, I don't think they're good for the league at all. But Monza has been quite impressive, as is Torino under Ivan Juric. And we can see Torino just 1 point behind Roma at this stage in the season, and Roma all the way down in 9th place. And you bet your bottom dollar this is why Mourinho does not have a job right now. 29 points. Napoli in 8th with 31. Miraculously, though, this is just 4 points 5 points out of fourth place. Now you could say, look, Roma's only 5 points out of fourth. This is not a reflection on how good Roma's doing. That's a reflection on the poorness, I think, of the league at this point in time, in that you want balance, but you don't want balance in mediocrity. And I think that with many of these teams, probably 75 to 80% of the teams in Serie A are mediocre at best. I think that's why I'm very much in favor of shortening the amount of teams in the actual league from 20 down to 18. But before I get to the comments, guys, keep those coming in. I want to take also a look at this. This is from Jacopo Aliprandi. There we go. And he works for Corriere dello Sport. And we see some good news here with Dybala coming back, and he will most likely be a starter against Verona. However, Smalling and Sanchez are still out, as well as Mboula. But some notable call-ups here with Golic, Joao Costa, Oliveras, and Pagano, as well as Pisili, who De Rossi had some praise for today. So we'll take a look at the next one as well. This is Sportsmo. I like using them a lot. I think they're a good website. They always do these solid write-ups, and they'll remind me of certain things. I have to read through these things before I come on air. And just notable absences here. We said Smalling, but also Abraham. I'm hoping Abraham's going to be back by like April, maybe. Maybe that's a little bit optimistic, but that's my hope. Gianluca Mancini and Cristante, they're suspended following those red cards in the defeat to Lazio. And I didn't realize that those are going to carry over from the Coppa Italia. Or did they mean Milan? I'm not sure here. Indica, he's still away with the Ivory Coast in AFCON. And I think that's about it as far as substantial omissions for Roma. So it's going to look like Rui Patricio, Huijsen, Llorente, Kristensen. This is their lineup. I'm going to get to another module, which I looked at as well, with Celik, Pellegrini, Paredes, Spinazzola in the 4, with Dybala, Belotti, and Lukaku as the trident. So we could see here that they're predicting De Rossi to go with Spinazzola. That's notable. Pellegrini dropping back is more as like an 8.5, with Celik getting the start. And then there's only 2 center backs available for this match, being Llorente and Huijsen, the 18-year-old, right? So how much, he looks decent, but how much can you count on a guy who's played like, a young boy, a young guy who's played like, I don't know, at this point, less than 200 minutes in his professional career. But as we hop over to my Twitter, there is some other stuff that Sky posted. I'm going to bring you over here. Okay, let's see if we got those real quick. This module. And I think this one would probably be what I'm most looking forward to, if it's the difference between a 3-4-2-1 or a 4, let's call it a 4-3-3, 4-3-1-2 kind of thing. This I like a lot. You see El Shaarawy in the place of Belotti, so a bit more fluid in attack rather than rigid. Dybala there, Pellegrini, Paredes, Bove, same setup that was predicted by Sportsmole. And then Karsdorp out on the right, no Celik, that should be mentioned here, and Llorente and Huijsen as part of the back 4 as the 2 anchors in the center back role, with Spinazzola out on the left. And I think that most people were in favor of this. I think I am as well. You can let me know in a comment what you're thinking of that. But let's go to the comments right now. Angelo's in here. What's up, my man? Start negotiations now for Baldanzi. He's going to leave Empoli. Yeah, for sure. Baldanzi's totally on his way out, as they're going to get relegated. You can get a bottom cut price for him. And I really think that he's someone who would allow the team to play much better. He's also somebody who can slot in when Dybala is out. And we know that Dybala will continue to be out. His injury history is not going to go away. His muscular issues, they're not just going to suddenly disappear. Matt says this got him so excited. Omar says Roma can play 4-2-3-1, put Dybala on the right and Baldanzi in the middle. I'd like to see that as well, man. But I think, yeah, maybe it could work. Baldanzi's got a little bit more leg in him. Angel says he's excited for a fresh new start. You're wearing an Ajax shirt. Yeah, bro. I like Ajax a lot. I don't have a second football team, but I've spent a lot of time in Amsterdam. I've been to see them. I've been to Romanisti Olandesi, to their club in Amsterdam. We went to an Ajax game together. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm repping them today. And you know that when Roma play Feyenoord, I'm going to be wearing this jacket. I got the whole tracksuit actually. Yeah, I think so as well. I think that he's going to be motivated finding his buddy back as well. He's going to be up for El Shaarawy against Verona. I very much think so. Let's see what else we got, my friends. Prediction for Hellas. I'm not going to lie. I don't know too many of these players. Dawidowicz, he's been there a while now. Uh, who else? Saponara, he's old as dirt at this point. Djuric, Montipo, he's a decent keeper. He's like 26 years old. But I mean, now that they sold Ngonj, I think he was their only light. I think that getting rid of him is dooming them to Serie B. Marco Beroni, though, he's a decent coach. He gets them to play, I suppose. I don't want to go overboard and say they're good. Roma should undoubtedly wipe the floor with this team. But there's circumstances which are gonna affect the fluidity, the balance of Roma's play, and the chemistry that they've been able to build so far under De Rossi. Okay, it is time for the De Rossi press conference. I've got a few of these in particular. The first one I want to hit is, what is Roma's problem? Looking ahead, would you be happy if, and then he leaves that as an open answer for De Rossi, the reporter. He says, I'd be happy if Roma were in the top four. Not an easy goal, but it's possible. When you change coach, there's always problems. I already went through that a year ago. He's referring to Spa. I thought there weren't all these problems, but ownership did. There's changes in football, but I have to start from 0-0, like the match. I love this. I love how he sets this and says, look, this is from scratch. We're going to start. We're going to go play to win. That's exactly what he's trying to say here. I have to see what things aren't working, but in a few days, you won't have time. I'm lucky because for reasons as a supporter, I saw all the matches. So he's been watching them as a tactician, which is brilliant. Even with the eye of a fan who looks distractedly, but I've seen it many times, and we shortened the study period. Is it the right time to return to Roma? Was it the right time to reject Roma? He replies. He says, you don't reject Roma. This is what happened to Juventus with Pirlo. There's men who refuse and others who throw themselves into it. Not just a question of nostalgia. One also analyzes the team. I would have said no only if I thought the team was poor. I think we are strong. I think we are strong. I love the fact that he says this because this contrasts heavily to what the previous manager had to say. And the work will make us improve and help me in career development. He says, we'll see it in a few months. What would you like De Rossi's Roma football to be remembered for? He says, the phrase, my football, gives me shivers. Sometimes I've heard this thing said to coaches I respect, but it's wrong. Football is not mine. If Guardiola says so, we can ask him to explain it to us. The same goes for De Zerbi, Conte, or Simeone, who moved something, like they did something. I don't know if I'm at their level, but you can recognize good coaches by how the teams play. I think that if our team at the end of this journey is recognizable, and if they know what to do on the pitch, I would be happy. Being remembered as someone who makes people play well and win is enough for me. He's already making me love him as a manager. And I know that you love De Rossi as the player, as the captain, but like, come on, man. You're getting to me already. I don't want to be crying on live streams. There are no conditions in your contract until June, but there is a bonus for fourth. We also talked about the Europa League. And what did they tell you about the future? He says the presidents were clear about the duration of the contract and my stay. I said okay and asked for a bonus. I didn't sign blankly, but I signed at the amount they stipulated. But I won't always do that. It was a great opportunity. There are no conditions for the renewal, and I told him it was fine with me and I want to play my cards. I only asked him to treat me as a coach and not as a legend, like nostalgically. He says, I won't go around the pitch with Romolo. I would. I'm not the coach, though. I This is a crazy. I'm gonna interrupt this for a second. Before I came on air, I watch ski videos. I love skiing, and there was this video of like a skier dressed as the Joker and Batman on a snowboard chasing him down the hill. And I was like, yo, what if I had the Romolo costume? Because I used to have it, but we had it at Roma Club New York. I'm like, what if I had that on my skis? I'm like, oh, I wouldn't be able to see. He says they agree on this, so they know that from the first second I heard from them that I will gamble to the death the possibility of staying here. They're happy with this. I want to deserve confirmation on the field and not for what I have been. It would be a dream for me. Okie doke. As soon as you entered the locker room, did you feel as the Roma coach? Where is that one? Yeah, here we go. He said, one doesn't expect them to send away the most successful coach in history and bring you on. They didn't force me to accept or put a gun to my head. I expected a more gradual process, but football is full of coaches who come in on an interim basis and then stay on. The latest example is Palladino, who's a manager I rate, who is now among the best in Italy. What happened to me isn't that rare, but I imagined it differently. I feel like Roma's coach, and I think we can respect each other knowing we are friends. I don't have to pretend to love Cristante and Pellegrini. I never pretended even with the fans. They also advised me not to come with my car. Once I enter the pitch, I feel like Roma's coach and they like me. I know this isn't enough. Last question I wanted to address, and you can see this transcript. I translate all these transcripts word for word. I know sometimes people chop them up and try to like generate likes and stuff off that, but sometimes they twist words around. So the reason why I put these in their entirety is for transparency. And I like to use that word, integrity. You said that Roma is strong. The reporter asks, what were the problems? Were they tactical? Who surprised you the most? He said, we could see some problems when watching the match, but I don't think Roma played badly. They played some badly and some well. This caused an up and down that brought this distance in the standings. Roma doesn't have any sensational gaming problems. He says, like, there's no true major flaw. He says they played great games with Atalanta and Napoli. We asked ourselves a few questions, but I won't say it here. I was aware that the players are strong. Then live, you are impressed. You see how Dybala, Lukaku, and Pellegrini touch the ball, and you're amazed. Pisili impressed me. I admit I'm guilty of not knowing him well, and he impressed me seeing him live. He is still a kid, but he has a lot of quality. Pisili, so maybe that's a player that we could look forward to seeing more under De Rossi, a player who could make an impact off the bench. Maybe the next type of Bove, maybe the next Pellegrini, right? I know Pellegrini is going through a very difficult period right now, but hey, man, I hope the best for him. What do you think of DDR's press conference today? And just to recap, as we went through it, I think it's really appropriate. I think it's professional. I think it's said by somebody who really loves the club and a gentleman. Hi, Martinez. Are we done with winter transfers? Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't be surprised if you do see a few things change with Mourinho leaving. Maybe some of the players that he brought in, maybe like Lukaku, to be honest with you. I don't know if he stays. That's why I really wanted Roma to sign Marcos Leonardo, because I didn't think that Lukaku was going to be a guaranteed stay or acquisition going into next summer. But there's always the next player, and that's why you need a good scout. That's why you need a Walter Sabatini, somebody who can find these players that when you miss out on a target, there's the next guy. And that's what I'm just hopeful for. I do think, though, Leonardo is a big loss. I think he's going to be a great player for Benfica before an ultimate transfer to probably like Atletico Madrid, maybe even a Barca. So he's a real top quality player that Pinto dropped the ball on. I spoke to Chris, and Smalling was a little disappointed in that people spread fake stories about him and create rumors. And I think he's been upset about it. And I'm glad to see him out on the pitch again, even just running a little bit. There were rumors that he was coming back about a month and a half ago. Those never came to fruition. But if De Rossi could get Smalling back out on the pitch, this Roma would be so much better, my friends. And Matt, he's got one of the last comments here. He says, sounds so reasonable and pragmatic for a new manager, already sounds so experienced. Yeah, that situation at Spal was very difficult. I would love it if he would bring Nainggolan back to the team. He couldn't be worse than some of the performances I've seen, like from Sanchez or whatever, if not for nothing but a locker room presence too. But guys, I hope you appreciated this one. As always, please spread this around, whether it's on Instagram, tag me, or if you want to come on the show as well. I did. Yeah. Recently, just through Twitter, not on the phone, but just in messages. Great guy, gentleman. So if you want to come on, you want to chat, you want to spread this on Reddit or Big Soccer, all the, whatever Roma forum, or your friends, tag me, and we'll talk soon. We'll definitely be there for the live stream following Roma Verona. Thanks for joining in. Ciao, ciao, guys.